Good morning, everybody. Today is May 30th, and let me tell you this right off the bat before we get started. This is going to be a big fat rant post. So if you don't hear me rant about something, don't watch this one. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do my best to control my language, but things happen. Alright, what am I ranting about today? Here's what I'm ranting about. So, I go to RPG Now, and I'm looking at products on the front page. And I'm just looking at the products, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, Jesus, there's so much crap out there. And I don't mean that in a nice way. I mean that in a bad way. We're just going to talk about the visual aspects of people's products, okay? First of all, what the hell, people? I mean, do none of you actually understand the concept of what graphic design means? I mean, really? Good Lord. Some people put out products you should be embarrassed to put out. I mean, here's something to think about. And this is going to scare you. There's more technology in your phone today than there was the guys took to the 60s and went to the moon with. With that said, none of you people seem to use this technology we have so much of to make good-looking books. Your books look like crap. Stop putting them out. And I'm going to say this. Don't worry about clip art. Clip art is okay if you know what the hell you're doing with it. It's like a gun. A gun's not a bad thing until you give it to a monkey and he shoots somebody. Then you're all surprised. Oh, the monkey shot somebody. That's what these covers look like. Monkeys have shot people. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Now, here's something else. I wish, and I do mean this, I wish some of you would take about, I don't know, 10 flipping seconds to figure out, maybe my cover looks like ass, and maybe I should do something better. But no, a lot of people don't do that. People just decide, whatever, I'll put it up, it'll sell. People love my work. See, it's not the art that sells it, it's my words. Hey, genius, here's a little piece of fact. You never go into a bar and go, that woman looks real smart. I bet you she went to Harvard. No one ever says that. Want to know why? It's the packaging that sells. Jesus almighty, it's not really that difficult. Make a pretty looking book. Think about what you're going to do. And here's a hint. If you're going to copy the design that you saw from 2E, first edition on Adventures, don't. Please don't. People have already done that to death. It's like, I'm trying to go for that classic look. Hey, genius. Classic? You mean old. How about updating stuff? We've got more technology to do cooler things than you've ever seen before. Back then, they used to do a thing called cut and paste. Now, for people who don't know what cut and paste actually means, it actually means you cut and paste things together in graphic design. That's how it used to be. Actual X-Acto knives, you need a Velox waxer, you can put the wax in the bag, slap it down. It was crazy back then. That's when I started doing publishing, okay? It was like the Dark Ages. I mean, actual Dark Ages. You had a big old... I can't even tell you... It was horrible. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then the light came, and the light came in the way of Pagemaker. That's right, Pagemaker. And I'm talking Pagemaker circa 1993. We're not talking now where it's all clean and crisp and everything works great. I'm talking Pagemaker at the beginning, when it was like, oh, we're going to be using Pagemaker. Oh, this is, oh my God, you can put pictures of this. Is amazing. It was revolutionary. It went from having to pay these horrible print people. And back then, they were horrible print people. And I don't mean the quality of their work. I mean just people in general. Their souls were dark as hell. I mean, they were horrible people. They beat you with sticks. It was just ridiculous. So, you had this going on. But thankfully, Apple, and I'm not going to be proud of this and saying this, but God knows I don't like Apple that much. Apple saved us by going with Adobe and saying, hey, we're going to be your source for graphic design, and we're going to do all this cool stuff. So they developed all these cool programs to do great graphic design. Photoshop, Illustrator, Pagemaker. That tells you how old it is. That tells you how long I've been involved with it. So after Pagemaker came, people figured out you could do really nice designs. And then the quality of the programs got better, and then we went to Quark. If you remember Quark, raise your hand. If you actually use Quark, raise your hand. If you're still using Quark, put a gun in your mouth and shoot yourself in the face. Because you're just stupid now. Let's just be honest. Get off of Quark, okay? In design. Let's just get to the point. Alright, back to what I was saying. When Quark was done back in the late 90s, well, mid to late 90s, it was the cutting edge. It was the hotness. It was great. That was damn near 15 years ago. If you're still using it today, stop. Just stop. Just stop. Ugh. I mean, good Lord. Everything has advanced so much better. And now, I'm going to go back to when Adobe said, we're going to do CS. We're going to start doing these creative suites and combining stuff together. That to me was the moment it was all over. And now I'm talking roughly, let me think, 2004? 2004. I'm still 10 years away. 10 years. And they decided we're going to unify everything. It's going to have this one great working system, and everything's going to work together. And it worked. And InDesign came out. Ah, crap. Well, blown through this light. InDesign comes out, and it unifies everything, and it makes it so easy to use. I mean, my God, it is perfectly used. And at that time, I was still using Quark. I was working at Macy's using Quark, and InDesign came out. This is the first generation. I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool idea. There's a lot of bugs. I'll stick to Quark. Okay, CS1, not so good. CS2, though, was a quantum leap ahead of CS1. So you're like, oh, this is much, much better. And from there, people started using it, and that basically made the death knell for Quark. Once again, if you're using Quark still, beat yourself with a stick, because you're kind of like the dinosaur here, and it's time for your extinction. So, oh, Jesus. So, then people started getting these really great programs that were really powerful, had all this stuff going for them, and the worst thing possible happened. The worst thing possible happened. Too many idiots said, hey, I'm a graphic designer. I've got Photoshop. Hey, I'm a graphic designer. I got InDesign. You're not a graphic designer. You're not. You're a guy with a program. That's equivalent of you saying, I have a hammer and I'm a carpenter now. No. What you have is a bunch of tools that really aren't, let's be honest. Most of these guys use these tools kind of like, a blunt instrument. Okay? It's not that difficult. Good design is not that difficult. I have said several times how many different books you could look at for great design. And what do people do? They don't do that. They find an RPG they like, they copy the design they have, and then they go, I'm a great designer. I'm a graphic designer. You should pay me. Look, you're not a graphic designer. You're just a hack, a 100% hack, and a horrible hack at that, but you don't even do anything interesting. Be creative. Do something new. Spend some time understanding the process, and you'll make a product that looks fantastic, that people will go, wow, this is a great looking book. That's what you want people to say. Stop putting out, and before I get all high on mighty on myself, just because it's a black and white book doesn't mean you can't be good design. My God. Black and white design is this actual art form. You can do some great looking things in black and white. When I first got into graphic design, I was a super huge fan of black and white design, because it taught you exactly what looks nice based on limited things. The problem is Photoshop must give these people every different color combination, and people have gone crazy. They basically vomited up this bad layout. I mean, there's so much bad layout that now it's just ridiculous. Now, this is going to tie back to, why are people stopping when the light is green? I don't understand that. This is going to tie back to the original part of this whole argument, rant, whatever we're calling it now. Why in the world are so many products that look like crap being allowed at one bookshelf, drive-through, RPG Now, whatever you're calling it, whatever? See, I remember a time, and this is one of the moments I've got to admit, people are going to be screaming, they're going to hate me for this, but I really don't care. Back in the olden days, somebody got the smart idea of saying, hey, we're going to split the quality of products between RPG Now and drive-through. And my feelings were, okay, this sounds like a pretty good idea. And the basis, if you don't remember this, you weren't involved with this, the basis was this. If your product sold X amount, you'd be on one side, and if it sold Y amount, you'd be on the other. It was really basically determined on sales. The better sales you did, the better chance you got on the better side. That's it. People, I don't know what the word would be. I'm just going to go, people were up in arms about this. And not like the high-level sellers. No. We're talking the tiny guys, the smallest of the small guys. They said, and I quote, it wouldn't be fair. Remember that word in a second. It wouldn't be fair that they were subjugated to the ghetto. Once again, subjugated to the ghetto of where their products would not sell. See, here's the problem with that little mindset. Their products weren't selling anywhere. They weren't selling, not at all. And here's one of my favorite laws, the 80-20 rule. See, 80% of RPG Now, one bookshelf, whatever you want to call it, sales were coming from 20% of the people doing products. Now think about that for a second. You got 1,000 products for sale. 200 of them make up 80% of the revenue. The other 800 make up the remaining 20%. Now, I'm no math genius, and I don't try to be, But I understand that if I could cut out 80% of the people who aren't doing anything and only lose 20% of the money and still give the high quality of the 20% who are doing the 80%, I would do that. And they attempted to do that. And people cried, saying it's not fair. Oh, my product. What's the termination? My product's a good product. You knew your product was crap. Why are you lying to people? You knew your product was crap. You knew your product was crap. Why are you lying to people? I don't understand the hubris. That's the word I'm looking for. Hubris. I don't understand the hubris of people who put out a bad product. No, it's a bad product. And I mean, when I use the word bad, I'm talking bad looking. I'm not talking about the quality, I'm talking about the bad looking product. Well, I guess you have to go with the quality too, because if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. There's no thought. I'm just right talking. They put these bad, horrible, atrocious looking products. And people expect people to come to it and buy it. If you think you're running a business because you put out a product, come on, dude. Come on. I mean, God. Spend some time. Make it look nice. Stop just throwing in just some slapdash. You just throw it up there. Oh, just grab it out and put it up there. People love it. People don't love it. People don't love that. People don't love getting crappy stuff. People love getting nice stuff. You don't love getting a pile full of crap sent to your house. You like a pile full of money. Well, money's just different. But a pile of pretty things. It's just take a second out. Make it look attractive. Because here's the little hint. If you make the product you make to look slightly attractive, there is a pretty good chance it will sell better. Now, sounds stupid, right? Well, Lewis, what if the product's well written? Like I said before, remember the girl in the bar? No one has ever said she's real smart from across the room. They say the same thing. Wow, she's hot from across the room. But all you have to go with is, wait for it, visual input. You might try to get close to her to hear what she's saying, but still, you've got to see her from across the bar. Just like they got to see your product online. This is 100% just talking point to being visual. Stop putting together crappy products. Oh, look like you just pooped them out the morning before. Stop making those. They're just horrible. Spend a couple times. Spend a little time. Talking a little bit of time. Think about how you want it to look. Here's a crazy idea. Think about how you want to do a series of books and how they should all look similar. That, to me, is the one that blows my mind that people haven't caught that one. They can all look similar. They should all look similar. They should have similar looks and feels. They should look similar. They're the same line of products. If you look at our line of products, just for New Exodus, they all have a very similar look. They may have different covers. They may appear differently. They all have a general similar look. And that's what I want you all to do. Take a second now. Think about the design you're going to do. Because really, man, all you're doing when you don't do stuff like that is wasting a lot of people's time, putting yourself really to a massive disadvantage. God, stop putting out such bad-looking product. It's just horrendous. All right. Yeah, and on top of that, we'll talk about the quality of what you're writing. That's the other part. But right now, we're just going to talk about how you look. Get that stuff looking better. Get it together. That's all I'm saying. Alright, I'm almost at work and I'm all ranted out. So that's all I'm saying is make better looking products. You'll probably do better. I'll talk to y'all later. Hey, dude! I'm driving here!